There is only one unforgivable sin when maintained until the time of death. This one unforgivable sin
because
is
this ultimate conclusion that God is doing everything sheds a whole new light on the idea of submission to God. Because from now on, you will not be an objector, you will not be unhappy with anything. If you're unhappy with anything, you're an objector. If there is anything that causes unhappiness, you have to find out what it is and eliminate it. Look for the not-for-anic situations in your life. Eliminate them. You must live, but you must be sure that everything in your life is Quranic.
The biggest problem in the world today is that people do not know who they are, and consequently, they got their priorities all mixed up. You ask the average person, who are you? And they will look in the mirror, and they will say, this is me.
Islam today has nothing to do with the Prophet Muhammad, and it is the objective of all the sincere believers to restore Islam to the religion preached by the Prophet Muhammad. As I mentioned in this program, the Muslims around the world are not doing anything correctly. Everything is wrong. The adhan, the ablution, the salat, the zakat, the hajj, the fasting, everything is done not according to the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad that came to us in the Quran. And it is the objective to restore Islam to its original pristine purity as preached by the Prophet Muhammad. Were mathematically authenticated too. David Psalm. Now we have evidence that the whole scripture, the original scripture, was mathematically authenticated. This psalm happens to be confirmed in the Quran. When God says, I make that thing between of them, no one is from God, and no one is the absolute truth. When God tells you, I'm doing everything, you know this is the absolute truth. God is the only one who knows when the world will end. And God wants to tell the world about the end of the world. The end of the world, God says that the end of the world is 2280 AD or 1710 AH. And they have evolved to the ultimate conclusion that I've been telling you about. God is doing everything. This is the ultimate conclusion. This ultimate conclusion explains why the majority of believers are going to hell. Because there are lots of people who believe in God, but they don't believe that He's doing everything. It's a very crucial conclusion, the ultimate conclusion. The one that leads us to heaven. And you can understand why it is rare that people go to heaven, people who go to heaven are rare. And we find this in the Bible, consistently, the Bible and the Quran. No, greater is the only one. Why is it discovery that came out of this mosque, we have no choice. We cannot manipulate the data. We have two verses initiated with the letter Q. We didn't choose Q. The author of the Quran, Almighty Allah, chose Q. And there are two chapters initiated with Q. One is chapter 42, the other chapter 50. You count the letter Q, which is dictated on us. In chapter 42, and you have 57 Qs. 19 times 3. You count the letter Q in chapter 50, which is half as long as 42. And you also get the same number, which is 19 times 3. This is one. This is a supernatural composition. I wanted initially to give you a report on my visit to San Diego. We had a very nice meeting last December, and I find out that Anna's aunt and uncle were there. I presented to them and discussed with them the Quran, and there was one from some other camp, and I pointed out these things to him, that we have no chance of manipulating the Quran, because we did not choose the Q or the S or the N. And I asked him to explain how come all these are consistent with multiples of 19. We have 7 chapters. These are the 7 chapters. Said you can do it with any book. Some of the critics say you can do this with any book, but it's not true. I tell them, fine. They said you can do it with any number, not necessarily 19. I say, please, let us see some other number. You know, we'd like to see a miraculous composition in the Quran using any number. They haven't shown us anything yet. 19 years until now. And we challenge them to prove any mistake. Not that this is 9899. Sounds like the price of a used car. 99 cents. But this is a multiple of 19. 19 times 5, 2, 1. And they said, how do we know you're not lying? How do we know these numbers are correct? So I printed the second book for them with every letter. I say, all you need to do is show me one letter without a star, one of these letters without a star, or show me a star under a letter that is not one of these. There are 798 of these. This is 19 times 42. Consistently, every single one of them, without exception, 29 chapters, initially. And we have no choice. These KHYAS have been in the Quran for 1400 years. There is no chance for manipulating or playing around. And after the conclusion came that we shall worship God alone and uphold the Quran alone, you know how popular I am. They are trying to make a mistake. 226. You count the Y and the S in this chapter, the 285. 19 times 15. Strange things happen in the Quran. There is a letter Ya. This letter is questionable in many surahs, many words. Like, for example, Yatawafak. It's written with a Ya. The word that is obscure Ya. Kind of a questionable Ya. You do not find a single questionable word in this surah. They're all the straightforward Ya. Yasin. 285. I don't know what other letters I forgot, but every single one in their chapter is multiplied. No wonder God calls this one of the greatest miracles. And we are the lucky generation.